Hello and welcome to the Learning Love Podcast, brought to you by the Learning Love Foundation, helping people transform how they love, live, and lead. I'm your host, Dr. Mark A. Hicks, and I want to thank you for joining us today as we spend some time learning love.
Love is the answer. Now all we have to do is explore all the questions. And today we're going to be exploring a very important area. If you've ever wondered why your relationships don't work, particularly if you've had more than one experience where you wondered what happened. You're a nice person. You try to treat people well. You try to do what's right, to be a good person within relationships, and you care about having good relationships, and yet it just doesn't seem to work. You've had one difficult time after another. Maybe you truly care about your marriage, but it's just not in good shape, and you don't know why. You can't point to any particular thing. Sometimes it's obvious. Sometimes if there's, abuse, if there's violence, if there is infidelity, obviously we can point to some of these things and say, this is not good for our relationship. Our relationship is on the rocks, and here are some of the reasons why. But sometimes it's not that simple. Sometimes we look at our relationships and they are not what we want them to be. Our marriage is not what we wish it was. Our family is not what we wish it was, and we're not sure why. There's no overt abuse. There's no particular reason why things are bad. Everybody's doing the best they can. And yet somehow some major element is missing. Well, that could be a number of things. I can't say that there's just one thing that would cover every single possibility. However, there is one that's very common, that I want to talk about today. That if we address this one thing, it could be the solution. Very well could be the solution that you're looking for. And it is this. Your relationships, whether it's marriage, romantic partnerships, family, friendships, whatever relationship we're talking about, your relationships will never be at a level that exceeds the level of your self-esteem. Your relationships will never exceed your self-esteem. Your self-esteem is the cap. It is the limit on how healthy your relationships will be, how much love you are capable of receiving, and how much love you are capable of giving. Your self-esteem is the limit to all of that. And so if there is not an overt reason, such as abuse or infidelity or violence or something, if you're basically pretty functional in your relationships, everybody's a good person trying hard to have good relationships, and it's just not working somehow, take a look at your self-esteem. It's very likely that this could be the culprit. Your relationship will never exceed your self-esteem. You'll never be able to love more than you love yourself. You cannot love other people more than you love yourself. If that's the first time you've heard this, you're going to disagree with it. Everybody disagrees with it the first time you hear it, I think. If you've never heard that before, and I'm not the first one to say it, a lot of people have said it. Brene Brown is very famous for saying it. If you've never heard this before, you're going to push back on it most likely and think, well, that's not true. I love my family more than I love myself. I love my children more than I love myself. I love my spouse more than I love myself. That is not possible. You cannot love other people more than you love yourself. We trick ourselves into thinking we do, but this has been scientifically studied. This has been proven. You cannot do it. It is the limit. We cannot love other people more than we love ourselves. The reason for that is, and I've talked about this many, many times, love is organic. It is grown within us. It is not a commodity like money where we can go out and get more. We can't just gather up more money. If you need more money, you can get a second job. You can take out a loan. You can borrow money. There are ways to gather up more funds if you need more money for any particular reason. If you need to give more love, You can't go to the love store and get any. That's not how it works. You can't just go out and borrow some. You have to grow love within yourself. And the limit is how much you love yourself. You cannot exceed that. Love has to be grown within you to give it away. And so you're not going to be able to give more love than the level you love yourself. You're not going to be able to receive more love than the level you love yourself. You'll always reject it. People may adore you. They may absolutely love you in every way. But if you don't love yourself, you're going to reject it every time. You're going to only receive the love, the caring, the compassion, the adoration that you believe you deserve, and you're going to cap it right there. You're going to stop. You're going to not allow anything to really get into your life more than you love yourself. And so even if someone adores you in every way, you're going to deflect some of that. You're not really going to experience it within your heart, within your soul, within your mind. You're not going to truly experience it if you don't already love yourself at that level. You will never have relationships that exceed your own self-esteem. And so, if you have basically good and functional relationships, you've been listening to this podcast, you've been reading books, you've been listening to other podcasts, you've been learning how to do good relationships, and you're doing the things, you're building the relationship, but something's missing, this is usually it. This is the thing you need to address. Find ways to love yourself, and you're going to be able to receive more love, and you're going to be able to give more love, and your relationships are going to have an easier time truly thriving if you have strong self-esteem. And so work on yourself. Now, there's always hindrances that come up when we start talking about working on ourselves. Immediately, people start thinking that sounds selfish. That sounds self-centered. And aren't we supposed to put other people first? Well, in a way, you are putting other people first. When you work on yourself, you're increasing the capacity to let them love you, and you're increasing the capacity for you to love them. So there's nothing selfish about any of that. So put aside any of this thing of, well, if I focus on myself, I'm being selfish. No. If you focus on your self-esteem, building yourself up, you are always going to be able to love more and receive more love, and your relationships are going to be stronger. So there's nothing selfish about that. The other idea that people get stuck on is, well, if I'm working on myself and I'm building my self-esteem, what about pride? What about ego? What about arrogance? Isn't it possible that I might become too arrogant, too wrapped up in myself, too egotistical, and wouldn't that hurt my relationships? Theoretically, yes. Okay? It's possible, but it's not going to happen. If you start out with a poor self-esteem, no one is going to grow. Hypothetically, it could happen, but in reality, no one's going to grow from poor self-esteem to utter arrogance where no one wants to deal with them anymore. That really doesn't happen. And here's the reason. Life will knock you down. Life will knock you down. Life will be tough. There's going to be times that even if you are super confident, there's just times you don't know what to do. And even if you think you know what to do, you're going to turn out to be wrong. Okay, life will knock you down. Life is not easy. Life is a struggle. Life is hardship sometimes. It's not all bad. Sometimes it's really good. But there are hard times in life. And those hard times keep us humble. That's all it comes down to. Hard times keep us humble, and there's plenty of hard times in life. You're going to get knocked down a notch or two every now and then. It's not fun, but life tends to keep us humble. And so don't worry too much about getting prideful or arrogant. Life will keep you humble. The people who we see that are super arrogant, super egotistical, just people who are so obnoxious that no one wants to be around them, that's usually fake. That's usually people that are putting on an act for their own demonstration to try to intimidate other people. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying into any of that. So I don't think that really happens a whole lot. I think arrogant people are insecure that are using that display of arrogance to try to pretend and to try to fool everyone. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about getting too egotistical if you're working on your own self esteem. Life will keep you humble. And I'm not so sure even the most arrogant are really that confident. I think they're insecure and just putting on a good act. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about being too prideful or too arrogant. Just work on yourself. Enjoy who you are. Take care of yourself. Self care is a big one. Self care is truly tied to self esteem. The more you take care of yourself, the more you're going to understand how worthy you are of being taken care of. You are worthy of being treated well. You are worthy of having people in your life who love you. You are worthy of having beautiful, wonderful, thriving, healthy, happy relationships. You're worthy of that. And as soon as you learn that, you can receive that from others. And as soon as you feel worthy of all of that, you're going to be able to give that to others. You're going to see them as more worthy. The people around you, you're going to see as more worthy because you know how hard it is to build self-esteem. You know how we all get knocked down sometimes by life. And so you're going to see people around you as more worthy, just as you are more worthy than you knew before. So take the time, take care of yourself, self-care, be good to yourself, speak well to yourself. So many times the reason we have poor self-esteem is because we talk so badly to ourselves. Listen to what you say to yourself in your own mind. Speak well to yourself. Don't beat yourself up all the time. Don't say bad things to yourself. Don't allow your mind to go over and over mistakes. Mistakes happen. We're human. Fix them, apologize, move on. Don't beat yourself up for it. Don't let guilt consume you. And as I always say, get help for this. Okay, the world does beat us down. We may not have been taught how to take care of ourselves. We may have been instructed by family, both by words and by examples of how to talk badly to ourselves. We may have been taught that pride is this horrible thing, that self-esteem is a horrible thing that we should all avoid, that we should all feel bad about ourselves. Some people are taught that growing up. These things are hard to overcome, so get help. Get into counseling, find a therapist, find a relationship coach, find someone that can help you with this. Help build that self-esteem. And when you do, you're going to find that you're a lot happier because you're talking better to yourself. You're not beating yourself up all the time. That is naturally going to make us in a better mood. We're going to find that you are taking better care of yourself, which makes you mentally, emotionally, and physically healthier. You're going to find that love is growing within you for yourself, and it will overflow to others. You'll be able to love your family more. You'll be able to love your spouse more. You'll love your friends more because you have that love growing in you organically, overflowing towards everyone else. And you'll be able to receive the love that people have for you. You won't deflect that or cap it in some way. You won't say, oh, no, I don't deserve that. You're going to be able to fully receive all the love people have for you as you give away more love than ever. Your relationships will never exceed your self-esteem. So work on your self-esteem wherever you are in this journey. If you have pretty good self-esteem, work on it. Make it great. If you have terrible self-esteem, work on it. Move it up a notch or two. You're not going to fix it all overnight. You're not going to move from having horrible self-esteem to raging confidence overnight. That's okay. Step at a time. You'll start enjoying the journey once you begin. Move up a little bit. Move up to just not talking so badly to yourself. Find some good things about yourself and celebrate it. And as your self-esteem grows, you'll be able to receive more love, you'll be able to give more love, and your relationships will thrive. I'll say it again. Your relationships will never exceed your self-esteem. So work on your self-esteem to experience and to give more love than ever. And that's my thoughts this week as we are building the relationships that we want, need, and deserve. Thank you so much for listening. I want to ask you, if you would, to go to learninglovefoundation.com. Learning Love Foundation sponsors this show. Learninglovefoundation.com is where you can find out all the stuff that's going on and find a link to purchase my book, Learning Love, Building a Life That Matters and Healthy Relationships That Last. I hope that you will order your copy today. Until next week, love well, everyone.